Okay, so it is ostensibly the middle of the day, the sort of time period that I'd normally be calling breakfast, morning, wake-up time if I wasn't here, but I am. This morning we had a fun visit from the training officer, Ms. Lucy Stevens from ShipSafe, and I am now the proud bearer of a brand new ShipSafe tie and a set of epaulets. Which means that I can't be quite as anonymous as I'd like to have been before now. I went to get my post this morning. I went down and there was a parcel waiting for me, a care package from my dear mother, who I don't actually blame for everything, just most things. Love you, Mum. So I opened it up and she got me a box of packing pellets. Oh, and some other stuff, like this French hot chocolate with no English instructions on it. Luckily, my secondary school education and its foundation in modern languages means I think I can vaguely interpret this. There are 3 or 4 tests. Oh no, there are the English instructions. You can tell I'm going to cope really well on board French owned ship. But this smells nom. Just actually, I don't think I can say nom without one film. Also, she got me this silver box. And some crinkly paper. Oh, and some chocolates. I know you can't smell things over the internet, but nom, just I mean, thanks, Mum. Nom. Okay, right, I could perv on these chocolates all day. Look at the book! But I won't. Strong pack of that. Until that, no. Let's not. I probably should bulk this out with something. So I will. And so last night I told you I watched an anime out of character for me, but I rather enjoyed it. So I watched Ghost in Shell 2.0 edition. I'm not used to pointing at things in camera. Ghost in Shell 2.0 edition, which is the synopsis on the back. Set in the reimagined Hong Kong at a time when cyberspace is expanding into human reality, the story follows top cybercop Major Makoto Kusanagi, sorry, you have to get used to pronouncing these names, as she tracks down the mysterious puppet master in both the real and digital world. Now, apart from being an action-packed extravaganza with tits, it's also quite a thinker. The main sort of issue raised is the nature of life and what can really be considered life and the self, nature of the soul, as it were. You see, the Major is a sort of high-tech cybercop who was once, as we term it, human, but through her work has sort of opted to have her physical form replaced with cybernetic sort of alternatives. The only part of it is biologically human is her brain matter, which is of course safely locked up in a titanium skull. Now this gives her all sorts of advantages. She's stronger, she's faster, she can access information and process thoughts at speeds sort of unimaginable to us mere mortals. She can, if she takes all her clothes off, she can use a thermoptic camouflage to become invisible. And of course, being mostly mechanical, it's very hard to kill her. But about halfway through the film, she kind of starts to wonder how much of her is really her anymore. The self, the me that she considered herself before she took this on, how much of that has been lost with upgrades and replacements and interaction from all the data that she's accumulated. At the same time, she's hunting down this puppet master who works. The puppet master is believed to be some hacker, probably American, who's been sort of hacking people's mechanical bodies, as it were, taking over and having them do all sorts of evil deeds. It's only when they track down the puppet master and they discover that... Spoilers ahead! Just saying. Thought I'd warn you. It's only when they track down the puppet master and they discover that he is more accurately an it, and it is a data ghost, as it were. A thinking intelligence housed entirely in mechanical, sort of, rather than being an organic brain inside either a human or mechanical body, it's a thought process inside a mechanical sort of neuroelectrics, as it were. I'm not quite sure how to describe it. Essentially, he's not life as we've traditionally defined it, but nevertheless is showing all the other signs of being a living, thinking thing, except it wants two things. It wants to reproduce and it wants to die. Because if it can do those two things, then it can, posthumously as it were, say that it was truly alive. Except it can't reproduce in the same manner as the rest of us, and it can't die, as it were. And it certainly can't die without having first reproduced, because then it wouldn't have succeeded. So until really it finds a way of reproducing it can't do anything. Which is where our major comes into things. Situations occur, and the two end up being linked. The two's minds end up being linked by wires and so on. And then she faces a decision that the puppet master wants to merge with her, as it were, for them, the two of them, to merge minds, become a new entity, which would, as it were, serve the process of reproduction. And of course, from the Major's point of view, she's thinking, well, I've already given up. I'm not sure anymore who I am. Do I embrace this change, or do I fight to stay who I am? Or who I think I am, who I should be, who I believe I should be, who I was when I woke up. So, question of the day. Viewer. what's your opinion on the nature of the self? Is there some sort of soul that gives us a defining sort of line as to who we are? Or are we nothing but the sum of our physical body, our genes, and our experiences all stored up in data in our head? I still haven't decided how I'm going to say goodbye to you, so I'll just say goodbye. Okay, right, goodbye for now. Have fun not being me.